Because of all the criticism to the latest updates and trailer, the Hell Let Loose developers cancelled the roadmap for this year. They will largely focus more on fixing the game before continuing to bring out new content. This made me think, what if the devs wouldn't release new content at all and just focus on purely improving the basics of the game? Wouldn't this organically grow the player base because of pure quality? Would this get noticed online and attract attention? Seeing the release of BattleBit Remastered with all of its detailed little mechanics and quality of life features made me think of a possible Hell Let Loose that got all the basics right. So in this video, let's take a look at 10 quality of life improvements for Hell Let Loose that would take its current content to the next level. So the first quality of life improvement that I would really like to see is that you can manage your squad while you are alive. Because right now, kicking people from the squad, or locking it, or opening it, you can only do it in the deployment screen when you're dead. But that's really inconvenient. I think many people that want a squad lead are a bit frustrated with this. And in addition to that, it's also really hard to place markers and manage your squad when you're dead, because you can't place any markers or open the map. This is very inconvenient because that's exactly the downtime you have as a squad leader to actually do something and have some overview in the map. So in the recent Reddit AMA, the devs actually mentioned they're looking into this. It didn't seem like a really high priority for them, but hopefully they will do something with it. The next point is improved voice communication. So right now there's so much disparity in voice volume at the moment. Some people have this really loud blasting mic, other people are really hard to hear. I wish there was some kind of way that Hell Let Loose balanced this out so everything sounds nice. And especially as a content creator, I just want my sound quality to be good in the videos. But also the average player doesn't like being shouted in the ear at 3 AM. So hopefully they work on that. But actually the worst issue is that many times the voice communication doesn't work at all. Especially since the new updates, I do have the voice communication bug quite often. Also yesterday I had it twice. So hopefully they find a way to deal with that. So the third point is less floaty walking. I don't know why, but the walking and movement in Hell Let Loose feels kind of floaty. I don't know if that's the right term. So if there was some better animation in first person with like head bobbing or something that makes it feel more grounded, I really think that would increase the realism of Hell Let Loose. There are many games that do it in a different way. The first one that comes to mind is Squad. You really feel like you're some kind of character walking on the ground, but also there's plenty of other shooters that have that. I hope Hell Let Loose would increase this system a little bit so it will add to the immersion. And then there is proper interaction with the map. And by that I mean, basically the jankiness of the vaulting system and bipod system and all that stuff. I mean, it's hard to jump through windows, over walls, over fences. There's quite a big chance that you actually can get stuck, and this must be one of the most frustrating points in the game at the moment. It's a one-shot kill game mostly, so if you're just stuck and someone sees you, you're just dead, and they have to walk all the way or wait for the spawn timer, and it shouldn't be like that. And also, apart from fixing this kind of stuff, it would be nice if it's a bit more interactive. Like for example, if you're trying to shoot out of a window and you're too close to the wall, you actually hold your gun to your chest rather than just aim at the wall. It would increase the immersion, like decrease the frustration, and I think it's really needed. During the Reddit AMA, the devs actually mentioned they developed some tools to actually get more insight where it happens and actually fix it. So I hope we will see improvements over the next couple of updates, but we'll see. Then, of course, I have to mention the artillery system. I know there's people who like the current artillery system, but my main problem is just that the gameplay loop is not well thought out. It's just depending on spawn killing, and I don't think that's a very good system in place right now. And for the people who don't know, so it basically works like people spawn at the HQ, get into the artillery, shoot the enemy, and the only way to get rid of them is to spawn kill them at their HQ and deny them access. Usually Recon does that. And the devs have mentioned they're looking into alternatives, for example mortars and even self-propelled artillery. So I think it will be changed at some point, but it's kind of a frustrating system at the moment. And also if you don't spawn kill, basically the RD keeps blasting your position, which is frustrating to many people. There should be a proper counter to it basically. Then the next point is free look, and I think this one would be quite important in Hell Let Loose. There's loads of games that have free look, which means you can look around while you're walking, especially because in Hell Let Loose it's quite important to sit still in hedges so people don't see you and you can see other people. But if you have to look around all the time, then you're moving. So if you have free look, you can camp even harder. But yeah, it's just part of the game, you know. Also, the devs mentioned that they have a design in place for this and they want to prototype it in the future. Well, the old devs mentioned, if I remember correctly, that the engine doesn't support free look, but apparently there is a way to do it, so I really want to see this in the game. And by the way guys, if you like this kind of content, why not subscribe to the channel? This way you can stay up to date with the new videos that I will upload. Anyway, the next point is better onboarding for players. And this is really important, and I mean, Team 17 bought the game, they want to increase the player base, and they went about it in a bit of a strange way, but I think one of the most important things to do it is actually the better onboarding for the players. It's quite a difficult to understand game. I mean, if you come from generic shooters that have existed for decades, then you really need to wrap your head around this kind of game mode and the way it works. And there should be literal tutorial missions for classes, especially for the squad leader, because if people don't get frustrated and they actually know how the game works, then also less players will quit playing it, because it feels like a running simulator. And that was also the biggest criticism on the game, that it's a running simulator. And I think Team 17 wanted to increase the movement speed to just make it less like a running simulator, but that was not the main goal. People need to understand the game mode. And they do seem to understand this now, because the devs mentioned they're actually working on a tutorial mode now, like a test range environment, and I don't know exactly how it's gonna turn out. But I think it shouldn't be just articles you can read, it should be an actual tutorial in the game, I think. Then another quality of life improvement that's important, I think, just to decrease the frustration, is fixed uniforms types per map type. I mean, when would you ever wear a snow camo in a forest map? Or I don't know, man. I don't know, if you're like me, you're just caught up in the heat of the moment. I never change my snow camo when I'm playing the game, because I'm so much in the game, and every time I die I'm doing other stuff and I'm not thinking about my camo. Why not just have snow maps, have snow camo, desert maps of desert camo, and normal maps of normal camo, or whatever you call it, woodland camo. I think it will just decrease frustrations, and it doesn't seem like a very hard thing to set up. Also, one very important one that many people are complaining about is reducing the grind. I mean, the grind is real in Hell That Loose. Some loadouts in certain classes, they take ages. And especially if you play squad leader, you never touch any of them. I don't have much stuff unlocked actually, because I always play squad leader. And squad leaders are the most important class in the game. And without squad leaders, you can't have fun games basically in Hell Let Loose. But because there's the grind, many people don't actually want to play squad leader because they have to grind, or else they would never get certain loadouts. So that's a strange design. I think, or the squad leader needs to be able to select a secondary class that they can actually level while playing squad leader, or the grind should just be less. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I hope they change it at some point. I'm not sure if the devs actually said anything about reducing the grind. I'd like to know, but I hope it will change. And then there's the final point, and that's also important for everyone, of course, and that's the optimization of the game. Everyone should be able to enjoy the game as much as possible, and some maps and even the game in general doesn't run very well on lower end of mid-range PCs. Luckily, the devs are really focused on optimization every update. Of course, it doesn't always go well. If you introduce new stuff, new problems can arise, but they actually have told the community they're committed to increasing the optimization every single update. So this was the list that I believe will definitely improve the quality of Hell Let Loose. Less frustrations mean less people will quit playing the game. What are your ideas for improving the quality of life in Hell Let Loose? I'm curious to hear your opinions. And thanks for watching, and like and subscribe for more, and see you in the next one.